Hello, everybody. You are listening to the Minding Mind podcast, where we live life with ease, connection, and permission to just be. I'm your host, Evelyn LeVasseur, and today we are welcoming back the first person to ever come here 2 times, my guy, Armand LeVasseur, and we're going to talk today about what it's like to be married for 20 years because, well, today is our 20th anniversary. Lucky him.
Yes.
I mean, lucky us. But okay, so if you don't know, those of you that don't know, we've known each other since we were little, like we were in middle school. And we were very good friends through high school, always stayed in contact through college. Our families knew each other well. And we started dating when I was turning 25, right?
20 something.
I was about turning 25. And initially, when Armand asked me like about dating, however you want to phrase it, I said no at first. I said
Couple times.
a couple times. I was terrified that entering a relationship could potentially ruin a lifelong friendship. And I was scared to try. And then maybe 6 months later, he approached me like a second time. And then that time I said yes. And it felt easier to say yes that time. But I want to ask you first, like, what made you not afraid about ruining a friendship?
It wasn't about being afraid. I think it was worth the risk.
Okay. I guess that's where I got to after some time too, which, is kind of par for the course in our relationship with like, we don't see things the same way, but eventually we do.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
In a lot of things that we do. Okay, and it's funny because the first person that I told, maybe one of the only people that I told about him even mentioning dating was my mom. And I said, Ma, you are not going to believe what just happened. And I told her. And she just like kind of raised an eyebrow. And her only response was, well, it's about fucking time. And I was just like, what do you mean it's about time? She's like, that boy never looked at you like you were just friends. Like she said she knew that since we were little. So, anywho, to those who know things before we do, we were a little late to the game. But 20 years later, clearly,
we are here now.
Something we're doing is working. All the things we're doing are working, actually. So, I guess let's start there. Where do you think in the beginning of our marriage, or how did you even see marriage in the beginning compared to how you see it now?
Well, I looked at it more so as like, okay, I'm starting a life with somebody that it will eventually lead to children.
Okay.
And, I almost saw my role as, the companion, but also as a provider and being there for you.
You always saw it like that.
At the beginning, yeah.
And what do you see now?
I see now that it's more about communication. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned throughout our time together.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's more so about, spending those quality minutes together, raising our girls properly, letting them know about, there's different things in this world that will be pulling you in different directions. We've experienced some of that stuff. I mean, not all of it, but we could share what we've learned and help them.
Do you think that, because I think I didn't realize it, but like in the beginning of our marriage, I really thought like you get married, right? That was the big thing, was getting married, and then loving each other would be enough to just have you coasting through. Like I literally thought you could just coast. Like you get married, you fall in love, and then boom, love carries you for the rest of your life. I really, really, truly
Definitely didn't work that way.
does not work that way. I really believe that, like, right? Like love was enough. And I think I also kind of believed, without realizing it, that the ways that I was raised with the thoughts and beliefs that I had, that I would just carry those into our marriage, and you would almost like fall into my thinking. Like literally, that's how I thought. at my young old age, didn't realize that we both had history, we both had lessons, we both had beliefs and completely different programming. And then that those things were instead of just like shaping our relationship, it was literally going to shape the way we showed up, the way we talked to each other, the way we handled things, the way we responded to things afterward, the way we got angry or didn't get angry. Like all of that was kind of pre-written. And I didn't realize how much of our marriage or any marriage would be about, I guess, opening your eyes and saying, holy shit, I had this background that shaped me, but now I get to choose different for how I want our relationship to be. But that was like years and years and years of work.
Right. And also thinking about all the stuff that we had to learn from each other, especially, like you said, how you grew up in your household, I grew up in my household. Some of that stuff intertwined, but a lot didn't. And those are the things that we had to use our communication skills and
or learn the communication
or
skills.
learn the communication
Learn
skills.
the communication skills
For real.
because everybody says you got to communicate, and nobody freaking teaches you how.
Correct.
What does that mean? What does that look like? When you talk about like, what do you think that you do the same as you were raised, and what do you think you do that's different?
For me, the same, I would say more so making sure that that you guys have what you need. I think that's something that's still the same for me, but something that's different, obviously communication. Like, I don't know how many times I'm going to talk about communication during this, but communication for me has changed a lot.
Like how? Because it's not like we didn't speak.
No, but
But what's different?
Communicating more clearly, and knowing what I want, knowing what I need, knowing what you want, knowing what you need. And then also with our girls, that, it all plays a role together.
Do you think in the beginning you didn't know what you wanted or needed?
Sometimes I still don't know. Like, there's pieces of me or that I know what I need, but then I think there's still so much more to learn.
Because I feel like not, I don't even want to say in the beginning, out for a long time, I don't think that I recognized that you had needs.
Hmm.
It was literally like our life was about, yes, Evelyn, whatever you want. Yes, Evelyn, whatever you want. Yes, I'm gonna make it happen. Yes, I'm gonna make it happen. And I guess there was a part of me that was like, oh, this is just the way that he wants things to be. But it was just that you were ignoring yourself to please me. Am I right in saying that?
About 80%, I would say.
So what makes you more comfortable now to speak on your needs and your desires or your wants, whatever it may be?
I think just about, let's say, the more we grow and learn from each other, the more I realized that there were pieces that I needed.
Mm.
So I needed to learn how to speak about it, talk about it.
Were you afraid to say things before?
Oh yeah.
What did you think the consequence was going to be?
It's not that I would see a consequence, it's more about sometimes I feel as though, am I getting too selfish if I ask for too much, or you know what I mean? So even with me, because you know how active I am with sports and coaching, and I'm like, man, if I ask for something, is that gonna make me feel more selfish, or that's what I worried about.
Okay.
So a lot of times, like I said, when I get asked to do a lot of things, and a lot of times I just say no. It's like we don't even have a conversation about it because I know I'm already doing too much, and I don't want to wear myself thin and keep taking myself away from you guys.
See, I think the difference for me when you talk about that is like I used to get big irritated when you had a full busy schedule, like big irritated. But I realized it wasn't because you were out there doing things that you enjoyed. It's because when you were here, you were exhausted and checked out. So it's not like you can it is one thing to go out and do a million things that you have on your schedule and you love doing, which I love for you. But then if you come home and we only get the leftovers of your energy, then I think that's what the frustration is that not being busy, it's just that when you're present, you're not present.
Correct.
Or weren't present at the
Correct.
time. And I do feel a big difference in that. Like now I notice more, like if I go to talk to you about something, you make sure like the TV's off or you put the phone down and you're making eye contact and like little things that let me know when you're here, you're all in. That feels different.
See how much I learned?
And so did I. So with that, what do you think is something that people get wrong about marriage?
I think that one thing that people probably get wrong is people evolve and change.
Mhm.
And as you grow, you're still learning. There's so many different things that we're still learning. And like, I think you've gone through so many evolutions in our 20 years of marriage that there was so much more that I kept learning about you
Mm.
as you evolved.
And I was learning about me too.
Correct. So then at that point, it's not like did I take the time to learn more about you? Did I take the time to work with you on the new pieces of you? So I think it's just because people think, okay, you're in love. Yeah, but you still have other pieces of that makes love stronger.
So you think the thing people get wrong is that they don't want you to change or they don't
Or
embrace a change?
or they don't think that there's gonna be change.
Yeah, true, true. Because I do hear people say all the time, like they used to do this or they used to do that or yeah, I understand that. I think people get wrong that they think love is enough. Where I hear women say all the time, like, I just want somebody to love me. And it's like, okay, but first and foremost, do you love you?
That's
Do you see
that
you?
was gonna be the first thing I said.
Right?
Number one thing, do you love yourself?
Do you love you? Do you see you? Like, how can he add to your life if you're already in a deficit? That's the first part. And the second part is like, of course I want you to love me. But that is like the bare minimum.
Hmm.
Loving me is the minimum requirement, right? And then there's patience and honesty and vulnerability and a little sarcasm and some laughter and
Clear communication.
clear communication. Not being afraid,
Yeah,
not being afraid to speak for yourself and not being judgmental when you speak, right? Like if I ask you what's wrong and then you tell me, I can't get mad because then that literally negates the fact that I told you to be open with me because you can't be open if I'm going to attack you.
this will make it harder for me to come back the next time.
Correct. So I think when people say like, I just want somebody to love me, I think the biggest issue is that they don't really see and love themselves fully yet. So they can't even embrace the love somebody else is trying to give them. And I did see that for myself too. Like I don't know how to say it. I guess I want to say that I thought I just want him to love all of me. And you did, but I couldn't receive it because I didn't love all of me. So even when you did things that were loving, I was questioning the motive behind it, right? Like I couldn't fully receive what you were giving me because I was literally the human being blocking my blessings. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Yeah.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think that learning to be self-aware played a role in our relationship? Because I do think that we have been around a lot of people who, I don't want to say keep things superficial, but keep a lot of their life at a like a baseline or like a surface level, right? Like I don't hear people in our lives talk about growth or elevation or depth or connection or spirituality or their connection with God. Like I don't hear that in regular conversation. And I know from our growth together that it's necessary. Like I don't want to just come home and, cook and clean and pay bills and be good friends and be satisfied with that. I want like next level everything. So, how do you think being or learning together to be self-aware has changed the way we interact with each other?
I think one of the big parts for me was at first, you know, afraid to really show the whole me
Mm.
and, being afraid to ask questions or whether it's like pointing out something or just wanting to do something, because, I was at a point, remember, when I would always wait to the last minute to ask you about something if I could do it. But, because I always like, once again, it goes back to me thinking, oh, am I doing too much? So I try to wait and see if like make sure I wasn't doing too much. And then I'll ask instead of just asking from the get-go and talking about it.
It's so funny that you say that because I always said to you before, like I feel like you spent so much of your time in your head and you assume that I took part in those conversations and then it was just you. You had the thought, you had a guilt around it, you had maybe some shame around it, you had some doubt around it, and then you made a decision. And I wasn't included in any of it. Yep. Okay. So, but the point is, for me to say something like that to you, right? That I think all these things, the thought, the decision, the shame, the guilt, and then shutting down the thought all happen in your head. And then I bring that up to you. What makes you able to hear it and not feel judged or attacked?
I think a lot of that has to deal with me putting it on myself. I mean, the reason that we were at that point was because of me not communicating clearly. And so I'm like, so how can so in my thought process, how can I judge her for me not communicating clearly? That's the way I looked at it in that point in time.
Okay. Because I think it's like I think it's important that I can even say, hey, I feel like this is what's happening. And then you not to react negatively about it. Like that's the fact that you don't react negatively is what makes it safe for me to continue to come to you when I have a problem. Right. So like, where did you learn that? How did you learn that?
Honestly, I think I learned it from you.
How? What do you mean?
Interactions, the way you communicate with me. So yeah, I really believe I learned it from you.
Learned it from you. Interesting. Okay. What is something that you think people underestimate about staying in love? Some people, people say that comment that or that statement all the time of I fell out of love. First of all, do you believe that can happen? That you fall out of love?
I think maybe not fall out of love, but there's some other attraction that's pulling your love away.
Hmm. Okay. So do you have something that you think people underestimate about staying in love?
I don't know.
I think people underestimate the fact that that love is not just a feeling. Like love, yes, is a feeling. Yes, I love you, right?
Mhm.
I love being next to you. I love how I feel when I'm with you. I love everything about you. Even the stuff that I don't fully love. I love it about it. Okay. But I think that they forget that love is also a choice, right? I choose to look at our problems as me and you against the problem
Mhm.
instead of me pointing the finger, you're doing this, you're doing this, whatever. I choose I choose to look at you as an individual who has desires and a purpose in life completely separate from me, right? I choose to look at you as someone who needs nurturing in the same ways and different than I do. Like to me, love is a feeling, but love is action and love is a choice. And I don't know if I believe in that fall out of love. Maybe grow out of love. But I think when people think fall out of love, it's like something instant makes you not feel those things anymore. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that would be something I had been building for a period of time. I don't think it's an instant
Mm-hmm.
unless something, drastic happened in your relationship.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I guess even if, God forbid, things fell apart between us, I don't think I could ever stop loving you. I think I could fully recognize that maybe something didn't work in our marriage, but I still love you as a human. I would like to say I'll be that mature. I would do my best. But you know how I know that I felt completely different about our marriage was when I started praying differently. Like when I used to pray, okay, growing up in the Catholic Church, we learned a lot about you go to church on Sunday, you pray the Our Father, the Hail Mary. There's a lot of guilt and shame in that religion, right? In religion itself. And it wasn't until I really left religion that I found relationship with God and I found a different relationship with myself. So I remember I used to pray all the time, but even my prayers were superficial. Like I would say my Our Father, I would say my Hail Mary, I would ask God to bless my marriage, I would ask God to bless you and bless the girls. But when I started looking at you differently because I looked at myself differently, my prayers changed. It wasn't like God bless my marriage. It was like, God, help me be the woman that you've called me to be. Help me to see myself the way you see me. Help me to stand fully in who I am so that he can do the same. Help me to always make sure that he sees himself through your eyes. Help me to be the partner that you intended for him to grow to be the human that you expect him to be, right? Like, so to be able to pray to God to help you be who he wants you to be and not who I want you to be is how I can tell there was an evolution in my thoughts, but also in my belief about, I guess, marriage
right,
as a whole.
that was a lot.
That was a lot. Like good or bad?
Good.
Oh,
No, good or bad. Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying it was a lot, sometimes a lot. I can be a lot, and I perceive that. I'm a lot of good things, so I'm a lot. What is a way that we used to fight that you could like cringe about now?
I mean, not that we necessarily fought, but man, that would make me cringe now.
For me, it was a lot. Sorry, I'm gonna stretch out here. It was a lot of silence.
On my part.
Both of us.
Well,
I would get mad and shut down.
yeah.
I'd say what I had to say first, and then I would shut down. And there would just be a lot of silence in the house, tiptoeing, real uncomfortable.
Like we're holding a grudge against each other.
Yeah, and maybe I kind of was. Maybe I kind of was. Like I would be like, this is what the problem is, or this is how I see the problem. And I'd be real pissed off about it and say everything I needed to say. And then you would shut down and say nothing. So then I'd be in my head like he doesn't care. He doesn't want to say anything to me. He doesn't want to ever fix anything. And it was like I went from upset about something to speaking it out loud to you shutting down and then being in my head about all the ways I just knew that I knew how you felt, like I could ever know what you were feeling. But I guess I also had to learn that my approach to the problem also didn't make it easy for you to speak on. Like the way, even though, yeah, I said what I had to say and I said what I felt, there was something about the way that I was saying it that was making you shut down. So, like, yes, part of it is that you weren't communicating, and part of it is that I wasn't really opening the door for communication.
I think another part too, though, was like sometimes when you got mad at me, I didn't know you were mad at me at first. So then when you talked to me about it, I'm like, at first it like took me off guard. And I'm like, man, how long has she been thinking about this? So, and now I'm just really thinking about it. And now I'm like, what can I say to this really quickly or that's not going to be inappropriate or so. And I think instead of saying something, I shut myself down
And say nothing.
and said nothing
Mm.
until I could really formulate my thoughts on it.
Mm. And it's so funny because the
Funny? Mm.
ironic,
Okay.
it's ironic. I feel like at the root of that was that both of us just wanted to be seen. Like if I had just said, here's my issue, whatever is bothering me, and I know you did not intend for me to feel that way, but I did.
Mhm.
And if you said, I hear you and I see you, that could have ended like a lot of conversation or a lot of like, week-long grudge matches,
Right.
ugly grudge matches.
Right.
And I feel like that makes me cringe now because I am very aware of time being fleeting. And I don't like thinking about time that we wasted being silent or irritated with each other when we could have been, you know,
Because
connecting.
now we can talk about a problem like, oh, we're back to friends.
Yeah. No grudge match. I think now I can just say, like, listen, I'm really pissed off about this, and I don't put it on you. It's not you pissed me off. It is this situation bothered me.
Mhm.
This is what it triggered in me. I know handling my triggers is my issue, but moving forward is our issue. And how do we do that? So I feel like that's different. How do you think we went about creating like emotional safety for each other? Because physical safety is totally different. Like I've never felt unsafe in your presence. I've never felt like there would ever be a threat of you being physical or that's just not who you are. That's not who I am either. But mental emotional safety, I don't think I really understood that before. I used to think like you're in a marriage, you love each other, you do everything in your power to make the other person happy, and and then everything's great. But I had to learn that, oh God, I wanted so much more than that. I wanted so much more than just feeling like we're good together. We get along really well. And I want more. I want deep connection. I want mental stimulation. I want I want you to challenge me. I don't want you to just say yes to everything that I want because that's not helping me grow. That's making me stuck, actually. That's pleasing. So I think like first of all, a lot of it was getting out of my own way. But I think that learning safety in myself, learning that I create my safety first made me show up differently. And then it kind of opened the door, I think, a little bit for us to communicate better.
Mhm.
And then I don't know, what do you think about like even emotional safety to begin with?
Well, I think once you got to your point where you had that emotional safety, it really fell off on me also,
Hmm.
where I felt more calmer and, not that I've ever felt attacked by you,
I mean,
but subconsciously, yeah,
yeah,
subconsciously, I probably did. But now at the point where when we have conversations, it's not like, all right, she's not really attacking me. It's more about different things that we're feeling inside of ourselves that like you used the word trigger, that triggered something in us that got us to this point. So how can we fix it together? So I think that you being able to get to that point almost like relieve the burden on me,
Mhm.
where it helped me to feel more safety also.
Do you think that that plays a role with the girls?
Oh, definitely, because like I love seeing the way that they are growing and learning how to communicate. So I think, they are also growing and learning, especially learning from us, the way how we communicate with each
Mm,
other and making sure that they're always in a place where they always feel physically and emotionally safe.
mm. I love too that they're not afraid to verbalize one way or the other. Like, I guess I forget that when you sometimes I forget that when you raise your kids to not just like, I don't know, to not just bow down to authority, right? To question things around you, to question people around you, to look at people's motives and learn to understand them and like
Mhm.
to I feel like we've done a good job of raising them to trust themselves and their instincts and never shut them down. So I love how they'll describe situations where things that would make me raise an eyebrow or things that would give me a red flag, they immediately recognize it too. And they're not afraid to say, like, I ain't trying to be near these people, or I'm not trying to do this with this person,
Right.
or, like they trust their gut so much more than I ever did. And they know that they have the right to question every single thing.
Yeah.
But I forgot that that means they also question. You're like, I'm going to raise strong kids and they're going to be self-trusting and they're going to have strong voices. And I forget that that means with me too. But I think that they have a safe space here to speak their minds, good or bad.
Yeah. And like even when we're at family gatherings, right? Most of the times we leave because our girls are like, okay, we're ready to go,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and we want to help them keep their peace,
Mhm.
which which is, a part of our whole life that we built here.
Yeah. Completely different. Is there anything that you can say that you learned about love or marriage or relationships in general that feels really surprising?
Well, I think it's like something that we touched upon earlier was about how love is also something that is worked on.
Mm,
It's not like it just that it's gonna stay the same all the time. Love evolves, love changes, we change individually. So I think that was one of the biggest things that I've learned
mm.
on how that evolves.
I think the thing that continuously surprises me is that we keep growing individually and maybe completely separately,
Hmm.
but it doesn't separate us,
Correct.
right? Like I think there was a part of me, the younger me, that feared growth because I think I equated that with if I'm growing and you're growing separately, then we're going to grow apart. And I guess that all comes to play with learning your own emotional safety, with recognizing that you are an individual with a completely different purpose, recognizing that even though I 100% believe that our relationship is God led, that he meant for us to be in each other's lives, even though I believe that is our reality, I think that the growth, we still keep growing as individuals, but being able to see ourselves first, we just show up for each other different. Which leads me to this question.
Uh,
Do you believe in soulmates?
Soulmates. Ooh.
I feel like that's something that comes up when people talk about love all the time. Do you believe in soulmates?
I can't say that I like, especially growing up, that I ever like thought about that. But as time is going on, it makes me feel that it can be happening.
What do you think? What do you think about the word soulmate? Like, what do you picture for that?
Somebody that you can grow old with, that will love you for you, and also, love themselves.
Interesting. I used to think soulmates. When I heard the word soulmates, it was somebody was made to be with me forever.
Mm.
And now I think about like soulmates, like my friend Jen. I feel like we share a soul, we share a heart. Sometimes we share the same sentence, but she is somebody who my soul feels connected to.
Mm.
But also, my soul feels connected to you. In like, I feel so comfortable with you. I feel so at home with you. I feel like our souls have known each other much longer than we have. But I don't think that soulmates means forever. That's where I think a lot of us get it wrong, where you think I found my soulmate and that just means you're going to be together forever. It's like my soul found yours. One, because I fully believe that God intended it to be that way. But two, I don't think soulmates means guaranteed forever. I think it means you found each other. You bring out the best in each other for the time that you're together, but you got to work your ass off to make sure it stays that way. Or try to keep it same. You got to work your ass off.
Yeah.
You got to be intentional.
Yes.
So before we finish today, our girls have some rapid fire questions to ask us.
They have to answer very quickly, no thinking, okay?
No thinking.
Okay, this is this or that. Morning cuddles or late night laughs?
Late night laughs.
Late night laughs.
Wine night or walk and talk?
Wine night or walk and talk? Wine night.
3,
I like wine night. Yeah.
period. Stay in or go out?
Stay in.
I'm gonna stay in too.
That was surprising.
Inside joke or deep conversation?
Oh, it depends on the situation. I'm gonna go deep conversation.
And you're gonna go with that.
Are you gonna say inside joke?
I'm gonna have to say inside
I
joke.
knew it.
Daddy loves a corny dad joke.
Okay, who's more likely to cry during a movie?
I think neither one of us.
Then if it's neither one of us, then it's me.
Okay.
I would cry first.
Really?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Who's most likely to start an argument and forget why?
Daddy. Daddy loves to make a quick argument, and then in the middle of the argument, it's like we're saying the same thing.
Or I just make an argument so that we have something to talk about.
Okay, who's more likely to laugh in the middle of an argument? I feel like it's Padre.
I don't know. I guess it depends. If it's like a serious argument, then nobody's laughing.
Yeah.
But if it's something silly, either one of us will bust out in laughter
Yeah.
at some point.
Who's most likely to remember an anniversary or a special date?
I think both of us.
Yeah.
You think?
I think that leans towards me more.
I don't feel like we've ever forgotten something
I
important.
mean, we were smart and we got married in 05, so every 5 years we knew it was a big.
That's your math brain.
Okay, so these are everyday questions, like
Okay.
Okay.
texting during the day or talking all night?
Dang, that's a hard one.
I text that much, so talking all day.
Okay.
All night.
Talking at night.
Cooking together or order takeout?
Order takeout. Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't mind cooking, but
Okay,
takeout is so much easier.
ready? This theme is throwbacks and traditions. So high school you or honeymoon you, like you as a pair.
Well, it's got to be honeymoon because in high school we were just friends.
Yeah.
Dang. He was plotting on that.
And did.
Old inside jokes or new rituals?
Inside jokes or new rituals? I would say new rituals.
I'm gonna say old inside jokes.
Okay, anniversary trip or anniversary at home in pajamas? Well, look at you now.
Anniversary at home in pajamas. No, we always go out. Like we will tonight.
Okay, this one is relationship energy, is what it's called. The category is called.
Love notes or surprise gestures?
Love notes.
Surprise gestures.
Okay, deep talks or shared silence?
Oh, it depends.
You guys do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't pick.
No pick. Go with what your heart desires.
Say what are the two again?
Deep talks or shared silence?
Shared silence.
3,
Deep
2,
talks.
period. Okay, these are just for fun. Who steals the covers or hogs the remote?
Oh, both. Daddy.
Both of them?
Yep.
Who said I love you first?
Me.
Are you serious?
Me.
And then tell the story.
No, you
Story.
don't have to tell the story.
Tell the story.
I never would like share my feelings first.
Yeah.
And I did. I told him that I loved him. And his reaction was, that's awesome.
I think I would.
And then he said, I love you too. But I died a little bit first.
How long did it take for him to say it back?
A very long few seconds.
10 seconds, 5 seconds.
And were
There's
you
a
think like
long
considering?
pause. There's a long pause.
There's nothing to consider. I said that's awesome.
He was too stunned to speak. That's all for our questions, folks.
Thanks for participating.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so we are gonna wrap it up there. Is there anything you want to share to anybody who's getting married or newly married or struggling in their marriage? Is there anything that you would say to them? A piece of advice?
No, well, the one thing I've been saying throughout, clear communication is so important that it can help you get through difficult times. It can help you get through easy times. And learning how to communicate with each other will make things a lot easier for you.
Can you give one word of advice for, like, because so many of us hear about clear communication, but we don't even know what that is? How do they get to a point where their communication is clear? What does that look like?
It's more so about you're speaking so that both parties understand what is being said.
I saw a TikTok today that I thought was so great. A woman was explaining that when her and her husband have conversations and like something he says offends her or she gets irritated, he pauses and says, hold on a minute. I know what I said, but what did you hear? Right? Because it's totally different. Sometimes you say something and they take it the total wrong way. And I love that pause of, but what did you hear?
Right.
Because that'll clear up a lot of stuff.
Correct.
And I think for me, I will tell anyone who's in a relationship, newer, older, whatever, is to not expect your partner to provide you with something that you can't provide yourself. Meaning you can't expect him to love you more than you love yourself. You can't expect him to show up more for you than you show up for yourself. You can't expect him to trust you more than you trust yourself. So every time you give yourself those gifts, you're able to receive them a little bit better. And that's it. Thank you, girls, for our rapid fire time. And I want to thank everyone else for joining the both of us today and tuning into another episode of Minding Mine. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to comment, rate, and review this podcast. You know that your feedback helps me grow. And until next time, I want you to go live your life on your terms and please mind your business. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.